He's a function consultant.
Oh,
So
is
he
it,
just
sir?
want to
Okay.
learn technical also.
Okay, okay.
He's a
So
business
now,
consultant.
okay. Now also is into SAP, functional consultant.
Once we enter, nobody will come back actually. So I
Hmm.
think he settled in a very good organization.
Okay.
Maybe in our what is it? Towards this Tamil Nadu. I forget that name. After Electronic City, the border is there,
Hosur,
na? Nearby Hosur
Krishnagiri.
only. There
Uh-huh.
is one. What is it? He's working in industry itself. It's like normally
Okay.
for an industry, they will have their software team. Na? In that
Okay.
software team, he is working.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm. I think he is almost having equal experience, like me only. Maybe he's having
Okay.
14 or 15 years of experience.
Okay, sir.
So yesterday we created a new program with the four, okay, where we modified as per the standard transaction. But I'm just taking the original program, okay. So I'm not recording, but I will just record. I think are they going to join? Nobody's waiting. No, nobody's waiting. Automatically started recording. Maybe I clicked on recording. Stop recording option is there. Here it is showing recording. Means it is
It's
recording.
recording, sir. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay. So actually, SC38 we are creating a program. Okay. So how the function consultant in a real-time point of view, how he will test. Okay. So normally what we are doing. So if we are executing from here, we are getting this sales order number. We are entering this 5970. We are able to see the final output, whatever may be. If it is a report, it will display ALV format. If it is a smart form, it will display a smart form output. Okay. So, but for final end user, we are not going to give this SC38 access actually. SC38. So we just executed this SC38 and we have entered this program. So like normally what we are doing. So here SC38, and after that if we execute, he will get this option to enter sales order number and he will execute. So he is able to see the output. But in a real-time point of view, if you give an option, if you give an authorization to execute from SC38, instead of executing Smart 3, he may execute Salary 3. So if you execute the salary report, he can see the salaries of all the employees. There may be a problem actually. So the thing is, if you give this generic access, SC38 access, instead of executing one program, he may execute another program. So then it will create a problem actually. So he will misuse the information. So that important data is not relevant to the finance department, but he's trying to execute. He want to leak some information like that. He may misuse that information. So if you give accelerated access, so here it is generic. So you can enter any program name here and you can see the details. So to avoid that, join. Hi Jirendra. Hello, Jirendra.
Hello, hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Jirendra. Just now we started.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so for SC38, we can directly execute a program. So we are not going to give SC38 access to the user. So for that purpose, we'll create one T code. So by using SC93000, transaction. So just like so I just created one T code. Like this is as per the naming conventions, as per the expectations, we'll create one T code. Sale one, create. So which option we have to select? So now we are talking about the report and the selection screen. So we have to select the second option here. Sales order details. So you have to select the second option, program and selection screen. Now it will ask for the program name. What is the program name? So we have to give the program name. For a report, by default selection screen is 1000. So don't change the selection screen and check all these options. Like if you execute from GUI, HTML, GUI Java, GUI Windows, like that, in all the options, so it will enable. Just save it. Now we created a T code. So if it is a T code, how we'll execute? So just like SC38, we are executing from here. Okay. Now it is starting from the same selection screen. If you execute, you can see the details in the similar way. That means we created one T code and we'll give this T code to the user. So we'll restrict based on the T code. In the background, we'll add authorization. So only authorized people can execute this sale one T code. At the same time, for them, it's a simple. Normally, if you go to hometown, last time I went to hometown, there one guy is there. Okay, I order something. Immediately he's open sale one for creating order, sale two for checking the information, sale three for tracking the details. Like that, he is having a simple T codes. So likewise for the end users, they will give simple T code. What we are seeing here, what is our new T code? 26 sale 1. So he will directly use this sale 1 and he can check the details. So finally what we'll give to the end user? T code, not SC38. Why? Because if it is a T code and then we can restrict the users who is authorized person for this particular transaction. Like in a bank, manager can do some, clerk can do some activities. As a end user, as a single account of holder, we are having some restrictions like that. So if it is a T code level, we can restrict in the background. So finally, once we created a report by using SC38, and finally we'll create a T code and we'll give the T code to the end user, not this SC38 program. Clear? So where we are doing in SC90, SC93. So in the background, we are calling the same program only. How we are executed from SC38. But here we are not giving a choice to change the program name. If it is SC38, instead of Smart 3, he may execute Smart 4 also. But here in the background, if we are fixing the Smart 3, if he is trying to execute, always it will go to the Smart 3 program only. You can't change the program name. You don't have an option to change. Okay, it's clear. So finally, this is just like once we created the program, that's the first step. This is just like a last step. So we'll create a T code along with the program name. Finally, we'll give the T code. T code will give to the end user the technical name of the program for developers. So that is the background. Our code will be there in this program. But finally, for the end user, he don't want any other technical details. He just want to see the result of that. So then we'll give a T code to the end user. Okay. Now, what are the topics we left? EMG. So how to add new fields in existing SAP standard table. So if it is our table, so we created any table. If it is any G table, I'm just taking some other table. So this is our G table. So here he is not mentioned any information. Transparent table. Okay. So this is one normal G table. So we can store the customer number and the name one. For that purpose, we created one G table. But in future, after some time, if they ask me to add a country also, so directly I open the table, I'm able to add that new field here actually. So why? Because it's our customized table. So that's why at any time you can open in a change mode and you can add your field. But in case of a standard, so you can't add like this. So if it is a customized table, we can directly go there and we can add the field. But in case of a standard table, so Mara is the table. So here we are having all the fields. If you try to change this one, it will ask for the access key. Why? Because this is the SAP standard table. You can't directly edit. You can't add your own details. Why? Because if you disturb that SAP standard functionality, it will disturb all the programs. Somewhere it will go for the dump. You don't have any uh, or that authorization to edit the program. You can just see the details, but you can't edit the existing table. So in that case, if you want to add your own fields to the table, then we are having a concept called append structure. Append structure. Just go there. So if you want to create a new one, here we're having this. So here we can add like alright. So along with the existing fields, I just want to add some other fields like GST field. Okay, it is not available. The number and instance and the integer one. Okay, so GST, SGST. So for just active. normally it will activate all the programs and other dependent areas. So that's why it will take more time to update the details. Why? Because we are just touched the standard functionality. We added our fields in the standard table. So these two fields will go back to the Mara. So it will check that Mara where we used in any programs or in any other structures or views. It will check all the places and it will update this information. These two fields in all the places. So that's why it is taking more time to activate. Why? Because it should reflect in all the places. Otherwise, somewhere it will go for the dump. So this is the important question. They will ask that, okay, we are having one G table. I just want to add two more fields. How we'll add? So if it is a G table, directly we can go to S11 and we can add new fields. But at the same time, then they will ask, okay, I am having one standard table. How to add two fields in the standard table? So in that case, we have to use append structure concept, and we can't directly edit that. We have to use this append structure. So that's why we created one append structure. This append structure will be included in then the standard table, and the standard table will update in all the places. So that is a standard process. In future, if you don't want these two fields, directly you can come here and you can delete this append structure. It's taking more time. So likewise, that is the one concept in SC11 level. At the same time, so we use this option just like append structure. It is activating. Along with that, we are having one more option called indexes. So normally in a table, so we selected this. This information is relevant to sales document header details like a sales order, who created the sales order, what is the sales order number, when created, who created, what is the sales order type, like that. Those details, header level information is stored in VBAK table. Okay, so here at the time of creation, which one is the key field here? Sales order number is the key field. So that means if you give sales order number, it will give the information. So in effective way, just like if you come with my employee ID and if you ask for this employee ID, then directly they will give details of me. At the same time, if you are simply asking with my name, Sravan, it is very difficult. So likewise in our report also, always what we are doing, VKORG, sales organization we are entering, we are not giving the sales order number. So always we are entering the sales organization and we are expecting a sales orders. Then that will be a problem. That's not a key field. So you are giving a non-key field and you are expecting. You just want to see that who are working in Bangalore location. So you are entering the city, but the city is not a key field. Employee number is the key field, but you are entering the city and you are trying to execute. Then in all the records, it should check for the city. The city is Bangalore or not. Bangalore or not. For if we are having a 10 lakhs records, it should go there and it should check all the records, all 10 lakhs records. So the performance wise in a production system, if you are having 10 crores records, then how much time it will take? So that is the problem actually. In your report, you are not passing the key information. If you pass a key field, with a fraction of seconds, it will come back. Why? Because internally, it will sort based on the key. So all Bangalore location people are in one place. All Chennai people are in another place. All Hyderabad people in other place. If you send it location as a Bangalore, so immediately it will come. But here we are not storing like based on the location. We are just storing like a sales order number. The first sales order number is Bangalore, second sales order number is Visakhapatnam, third sales order number is Chennai. So then how to filter? It will take more time to filter. So that is the problem actually. So in that case, it will take more time. Our program will take more than 30 minutes. Then it will exceed the max limit and finally we are not able to see. So they will complain, okay, I am not able to use this report. We are having a performance problem. So in that case, how to avoid? So we'll just see this one, Mara. Still it is updating. Okay. So in that case, how can we do that? So here, if this is the key field, internally, it will create one index. We'll call that one as a primary index. So based on the key fields, internally, it will create one primary index. So based on that, it will sort and it will store in the database. But here, we just want to change that. Why? Because in all the reports, we're just using sales organization and this sales order number and the customer number. So this is the customer number. So our reports are based on these three fields. So then if user enters this combination, okay, in this case, these three fields are our report input. So I need one sorting criteria in the background. I just want to store like sales organization, sales order number, and the customer number based one set. Previously, one set will be there based on the sales order number, sales order number 1, 2, 3, like that. One sorting will be there, and the second level we are going to create one more index. Then internally it will store this combination: the sales order number, sales organization, and the customer number. So then next time if you are trying to fetch the data based on these three key fields, then effectively within a fraction of seconds it will give the information how to create index. So here other indexes are there, so we want to create a new index. This is for performance improvement, that the end user is telling me it is taking more time, finally I am not able to use this. So with the namespace or something. Show original language is D. Okay. Time being I'm just maintaining original language. Okay. So here we'll get an option like, so what are the fields we want to select? Here you can select what are the fields we want to use for this particular sorting criteria. So what I'm telling, the sales order number, along with the sales order number, we just want to use sales organization. Along with the sales organization, we want to use customer number. Customer number. So with these three fields, we created a new index. Okay. So next time if you are trying to execute a report, so with these three fields, like a sales organization, sales order number, and the customer number, automatically the performance of the program will increase. So we can't see that. Okay, now tell me how it is increasing. So at the time of using the report with the bulk data in the background, we are having some tools. So before creating the secondary index, we'll check that how much time it is taking. Once we created secondary index, and after that we'll check that how much time it is taking. Definitely in the background, the performance of the program will increase. So in that case, if any some tables, we are using some tables for data retrieval, if it is taking a time and we are not able to control, logically we are not able to control, then we will create a secondary indexes. So that is also important thing. So we are having these options in database level, table level. The first one is if you want to add some additional fields to the standard one, then we'll use this append structure concept to add new fields. Why? Because in say at the time of creating this particular table, SAP is not aware of this GST and SGST. So two things are there. So this government is suddenly introduced in India, and we want to maintain those fields also. In that case, we want to add those two fields to the SAP standard functionality. Why? Because at the time this functionality is not there, and this functionality is specific to India. We just want to add those two fields in the table level to store the information. Then we'll use append structure to add those new fields. So at the same time, indexes. So our program is taking more than 30 minutes and it is crossing that limit, and finally we are not able to see the result. Then we'll use index for better performance. Why? Because if we create a new index along with the standard functionality, we'll call this one as a primary index. Previously, it is stored with the sales order number 101, 102, 103, like that. Now we added other fields. So now it is sorted based on the sales organization, sales order number, and the customer number. If you're trying to pass those three fields, effectively it will give the result. So two sorting things will be there in the background. So likewise, for another report, we need these three fields. For some other report, we need some three more sets. So likewise, if we are simply creating all the indexes, finally, it will decrease the performance of the program. So the negative impact will be there. If it is then only really required, then only create the index. That's not our choice actually. You have to check that before creating the index, how much time it is taking. Once you created the index, how much time it is taking, how many programs are affected based on this. So in how many reports we are using this combination. If it is really required, then only we have to create this index. Simply we can't create an index. That's not our choice. So why? Because in the database, it will create a more load. Why? Because for previously, if we are having 10,000 records, it is sorted based on the sales order number. Now, for those 10,000 records, it is sorted based on the sales organization and the sales order number. The same set will repeat, the only order will change. Unnecessarily, we are storing 10,000 records one more time in the database level. So some other person created one more index. So he is also rearranging and storing those 10,000 records. Like that, everybody is storing 10,000 records based on his criteria for one table. Likewise, we are having more than 50,000 tables. So everybody is sorting based on their tables. So whatever the load on the database, unnecessarily, we are storing the same information by rearranging. So if it's really required, then only we have to create an index. So we can't simply create an index, or for one program, we can't simply create an index. If the same information, same sorting criteria is required for multiple programs, then only we have to create an index. The creation of index is simple, but in the background, we are just storing, duplicating the same information and rearranging based on the new key fields. So unnecessarily, we are storing same information. Likewise, if we create a 9 indexes, how many indexes it will allow? Maximum 9 indexes. So if you are having 1 crore records, if we create 9 indexes, it will store like a 9 crore records. Why? Because 9 sets will be there in the background to improve the performance. Unnecessarily, we are storing the information. So before creating an index, you have to get the approval. You have to give the justification why we need index. Without index, we are not able to control, or what is the problem. How many reports going to affect based on this index? How many reports performance will increase based on this index? You have to give complete explanation. Then only they will allow you to create index fields. Simply, we can't create an index on the table. Even though it is improving the performance, if you're not creating it properly, it will decrease the performance. It will affect the entire system, not only this table, entire database level. It will decrease the performance of the database. Finally, negative impact will be there. So that's why, even though it's a simple, it is increasing the performance of our program. We can't create actually. For only one single program, we can't create an index. So we'll just see this one. I think it is activated. Maximum time exceeds. So we'll see what happens. Mara will add. Okay, at the bottom. So newly added fields are not affected. Still, it is showing the old fields. Once again, I will try to add. So what is our additional field? Try to activate. It is showing like a partially active. Partial active is always dangerous actually. It will go for dump. I think it is taking more time. So likewise, this append structure concept will use to add new fields. So that is the information. Once it is activated, those fields will be available inside the table. Okay. I will end this call. Immediately, I will share the details once again. We're almost reached 4 minutes. Okay, I'm just ending this call.
Okay, sir.